Use a vegan, but you going ham. Yeah.
Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to Pretty Brown Vegan, the place for plant-based comfort foods. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to sit down and actually talk to you guys a little bit about myself, about my journey into being plant-based and my experience transitioning to a plant-based diet. I wanted to talk about hitting this huge milestone that I recently hit for hitting 130 pounds lost.
Damn! I'm sorry.
Throughout my transition as well. So I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that. Also, I recently hit 11,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you don't miss out on future uploads, which are going to include recipes, mukbangs, things like that. I'm looking to branch out on the channel and try a few different things, but today's video, the focus is going to be on how I lost these 130 pounds, what got me here, and just talk to you guys a little bit more about that. If you guys are interested, go ahead and stay tuned. I am going to be looking down at my phone a little bit. I took some notes here to make sure that I hit all of the points that are really important to me and the things that, you know, really impacted me throughout my transition. So if you guys really want to see how I went from this to now, then go ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so how did I lose 130 pounds and get to where I am today? I'm definitely going to include some photos from before, when I first started my journey, and in between my journey and where I am now. I'm going to just talk a little bit about my experience, how I got to where I am, and how I maintain my weight loss and where I'm going to go from here. I took some notes on my phone, so if I am looking at my phone, definitely excuse me. I just want to make sure that I'm hitting the points that are important to me and make sure that I'm fully expressing to you guys like how I got here, and just expressing the fact that I know that if I can do it, and if anyone out there is struggling with trying to lose weight or hit their goals, hopefully some of the tips and the ideas and things that helped me can help you. Definitely I feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. Like, honestly, I cannot believe that I made it here to this point, and I still always feel like I have so much further to go. I'm pretty critical on myself sometimes, and I need to really work on that. That's something that I have worked on, that has gotten me here to this point. One of the biggest contributors to me being able to lose this weight was building myself up emotionally, accepting myself where I was at the point where I was at my heaviest weight, which was 305 pounds, and just telling myself that I'm worth it, that I could get to this point, that I literally can be the best version of myself, and that no matter what size I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am literally at my best self at this time right now. And so though the person that I foresee myself to be and know that I can be in the future, you know, would be maybe an improvement upon where I am now, it's all about elevation. But I just had to value myself where I was and just meet myself where I was at, love myself where I was at, give love to that inner child that was within myself. That was like one of the biggest things that I had to do in order to break through to this point, especially as a Black woman. A lot of the generational curses and the generational trauma that were instilled in me as a child, those are a lot of things that I had to break. Growing up, I was always heavy. I was always a heavier child, and one of the things that really was something that I had to break was when you sit down to the table and you have food on your plate, you cannot get up from that table unless you finish eating that food that was on your plate. You have to clean your plate before you leave. There's no food to be wasted, especially growing up in a household that was on a tight budget. We don't have food to waste. So if you make your plate, you need to eat that food before you get up. Like, that's something that I had to overcome. That's something that I had to realize was like an unhealthy habit. So breaking unhealthy habits was definitely one of the first things that I had to do before I could really meet myself where I was and get to a point where I could start losing the weight. So that was definitely one of the biggest things for me. Again, like I said, my heaviest weight, I was 305 pounds. I got to that weight around my sophomore, junior year in college. I know they talk about the freshman 15 pounds that you gain when you get to college. Mine was more like the freshman 30. I was already heavy before I got there, and then just having access to all of that food, being away from my family, and just like dealing with emotional eating and things like that, I was able to balloon up to that heaviest weight. Again, I'm going to insert some pictures here. But when I got on that scale and I saw that number, I realized that that was something that I really needed to turn around. At that point, I was already transitioning to a vegetarian diet. For me, my transition to plant-based as well was something that was a step-by-step journey. First, I cut out beef and pork out of my diet. Then after I cut out beef and pork, I did that for a while, and then I was pescatarian for a while after I cut chicken out of my diet. I was pescatarian for about a good 1 to 2 years. I really enjoyed that. I love seafood a lot. So that was a really big part. But then, I had lost a little bit of weight around that pescatarian time. But then when I started college and was transitioning into being a vegetarian, I gained a lot of weight back. That I had lost and then some. And one of my biggest struggles while being vegetarian was the carbohydrates. I ate a ton of pasta, I ate a ton of bread, pizza, things like that. Those were my weaknesses, and those were the foods that I ate to replace that meat that I was giving up. I felt like I needed to have those things to feel full. I hadn't really fully understood like the benefits of plant eating, the different options that you have eating plant-based, and the different meals that you could make. So at that point, I had gained a lot of weight through eating pasta and carbs like in excess. And so that was kind of one of the things that kind of helped balloon me up to that biggest weight. And so once I got to that point, I really just started honing in on cutting out those carbs and cutting back from that, and also calorie counting. So first for me, I met myself where I was at emotionally. Secondly, I started making my transition to a plant-based diet slowly but surely, even though it was a bit haphazardly and I was doing too many carbs and pastas. That was like the second step for me. And the third step for me was counting my calories. And so one of the biggest tools that I used to count my calories was an app called MyFitnessPal. The MyFitnessPal app is free. I do think they recently made some changes to it here where some of the free features aren't free anymore, but they have a feature on there where you could literally just take your phone, scan a barcode, and it will tell you the calorie makeup of that food item, the protein, the carbohydrates, the sugars, anything, any kind of snack, a pack of cashews, a Pepsi, a Sprite, an apple juice, a meal, a frozen meal, anything that has a barcode on it, you can literally scan it in the app, and 9.5 times out of 10, all of the information is already going to be uploaded in the app. And if it's not already in the app, then you can add it in yourself. A lot of the nutritional facts on the app are like it's kind of like a peer, like a community, how can I say this? It's like a community based app kind of, where you can put the information in. Like even like restaurants, like they have Cheesecake Factory, Chipotle, like Subway, like everything. You can go in there, type in a meal at a restaurant, and someone who's been there before, who had the nutritional facts from the menu, put those into the app. Now it's available for you. I also think maybe some people on the app also contribute to that as well, but I do know that a lot of the nutritional content is like based on other people's experience who've had those items and already put it in there for you. So just think about all the people who probably use that app who've had so many different foods, and that is how they have all of that information in there. And so basically, you use that app, you can count your calories. Counting my calories was a huge tool to me. It was of such great benefit. I know it might be time consuming, it might seem tedious. The app made it a lot easier for me, because at first I was using a handwritten calorie journal. I had a handwritten journal. I would write everything I ate down there, the portion size, and the calories associated with that. I had a whole journal where I wrote down every food that I loved, and I would literally type in Google calories in a banana, calories in an apple, calories in a tomato, and then when I would come up with a meal, I would just go to my little legend, plug in all of the foods that I ate that made up that meal, and then that's how I would track my calories as well when I didn't use the app. But that really helped me stay at a calorie deficit, and that helps me lose the bulk of my weight by focusing on diet without having to worry about exercise. I didn't always really like exercise, and I still don't love exercising, honestly, but I want to say 80 to 85% of my weight loss journey is based on diet alone. And that's like 100% honest, like no BS. Like I lost the bulk of my weight by transitioning my diet. And not even just the fact that I transitioned to a plant-based diet, which I think was definitely a heavy contributor, because since I've been plant-based, I've had so many benefits. I don't get colds anymore. I rarely get sick. Like I barely get sick, if anything at all. And before transitioning to even being vegetarian, like I would get sick whenever the wind blew. Like summer to spring, like spring, summer, fall, winter to spring all over again. Every time the season would change, I would have a cold. I would be sick. Now I can't even recall the last time that I've been sick. Like there are a lot of benefits from being plant-based that have really helped me, but focusing on this diet has really helped me lose this weight, to be totally transparent with you guys. And so counting those calories and making sure that I stayed under 2,000 calories a day on days where I didn't work out was very key, very crucial, and beneficial to me. So if you don't know, the diet is based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Is based on the fact that if you just live your life like a normal person without expending any extra energy, doing anything additional beyond the baseline, a typical person burns 2,000 calories a day. That, of course, there's a lot of factors that go into that, like your weight, and things like your metabolism and things like that. But just in general, I took 2,000 calories as my base. And then when I tracked my calories, I made sure that I had a goal of 1,800 calories or less. And those are the days where I didn't want to work out. I just would cap my calories at 1,800, and then I would be good. So a lot of times I ate whatever I want. I still eat whatever I want, but I just know that it's important to eat in moderation. And I also eat to live instead of living to eat. Even though I love food, I love to eat. That's why I love cooking. But I know that when I'm full, it's time to stop eating. I don't have to clean my plate like I did when I was a kid. Of course, I'm not rich or wealthy or what have you, but I'm not going to force myself to eat food when I'm full. That's going to force you to gain weight. That's a habit that I had to break. So I put myself at a calorie limit. Once I hit that limit, I was done. We were done for the day. I also stopped eating around 7 or 8 p.m. at night. I try to not eat any later than that. I'm a grandma. I like to be in bed by 9:30. Honestly, on my 9:30 days, I need to stop eating by 6. But if I stay up late, you know, college or work or whatever, I have things to do. If I'm staying up to 10, 11, I need to be done eating by 7, 8 at the latest. So making sure that by the time I go to bed, I don't have a lot of food sitting on my belly that I need to digest before I can wake up. That's also something that really helped me as well. Also, now here more recently, I have learned the importance of the type of foods that you eat and the macros in your diet. So a lot of this journey, I was just kind of making stuff up as I went along, capping my calories, making sure that I wasn't eating too many carbs. Like that was something that I knew, but I didn't really know the importance of why that was. But I just knew that the pastas and the breads, those was turning into sugar in my body and just sticking on me. So I had to cut those things out. And then here recently, the thing that has really helped me lose these last 30 pounds here that I just lost was focusing on a high protein, low carb diet. So I make sure I get as much protein as I can in. So lots of beans, lots of things like tofu, meat replacements, those Beyond meatballs, those Beyond sausages, things like that have a ton of protein in those. And so though here more recently I'm trying to focus on more of a holistic diet, more like mushrooms and things like that, or using cauliflower or walnuts as my meat replacements. But those meat substitutes, the Gardeins, the Morning Stars and things like that, have a ton of protein. And so here now that I've hit my goal was 175. Today I was 174.6, or I think once I took a picture, and I will insert the picture of the scale here. Yes, 174.6. So technically I've lost about 131 pounds, which I cannot believe. That's so crazy. But yes, I need a tone. So like now that I've lost a whole person, I have loose skin. And so now my goal is to tone that up and tighten it up. But so in order to do that, I'm going to start doing weightlifting and things like that. If you guys are interested in seeing that next step in my journey, please let me know. So I'm going to focus on a high protein diet. But you know, up until the point where I really was so protein focused, I just was really calorie focused. So capping your calories, making sure that you are intaking less calories than you are exerting throughout the day, you're guaranteed to lose weight that way. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. This is just what worked for me. So making sure that I counted my calories, doing things slowly but surely. If you're not fully plant-based, or you want to be plant-based, or you want to even just start a healthier lifestyle, just swapping things out one at a time. So when I was going, I would usually have a sandwich. Instead of having a sandwich with 2 pieces of bread, I would just have a sandwich with 1 piece of bread. Slowly but surely transitioning things down. Slowly but surely, like making sure my portion sizes are better. Making sure that, counting those calories is just a way to really hold yourself accountable. Making sure that you know what you're taking in. You need to know what you're eating. Cooking at home instead of eating out was the biggest tool for me. I don't really know 100% what's in that food at that restaurant. Yeah, they can tell me what they made it in, or what's in it, or how it was made, or whatever the nutritional facts say on the menu, but you don't really know. You don't know unless you made it yourself. Cooking at home was one of my biggest tools. And counting you can literally count everything that goes into a meal that you cook at home. Okay, so apparently my camera has stopped recording. The point that I was on right now is slowly but surely making changes. You don't have to go cold turkey to make a change. So that's why I even explained, for me, even being plant-based wasn't an overnight decision. I cut beef and pork out, I cut chicken out, I cut seafood out, and then the last thing I cut out was dairy and eggs when I went from vegetarian to plant-based. That was the hardest step for me. Even though I was lactose intolerant, I was very addicted to cheese and dairy, but that stuff does not do my body good. Even though I love it, I still love it to this day, and I miss it. And I've been vegan for about 6 years now. I still miss cheese, but it doesn't digest well in my body. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert. I can't tell you, what something's going to do to your body, but I know that since I've been vegan, I don't get sick anymore. I don't catch colds. I feel like I have so much more energy. My skin is clear. I just feel better overall. And so those are things that I made the decision to go plant-based for me, and the benefits for me have outweighed the desire that I have to go back to eating those foods. And so I'm not necessarily vegan for the animals, for the earth, for the environment. I'm vegan because it makes my body feel good, and it has helped me maintain my weight loss. So that's the reason why I'm plant-based. Just make the decision for you that's best for you in your life. Okay, so editing Shay here. Looks like my outro either erased or did not record at all. So here are just a couple more pictures of me throughout my journey to more recently here in the last couple months. If you guys have any additional questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Also, check the description box for some meal plans that I put together as well, with some examples of some of the meals that I was having during my transition in here recently. So just check all of that in the description box, and thank you guys so much for watching.